Right, so welcome back to the Better by Next Week podcast, where Ollie and I are super excited this week. We finally get to do the all-new review and bring back all our findings from last week's Last Legend event and all the stuff that we used for the first time.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster. We weren't sure whether or not the nutrition would, hold up well, or the shoes or the socks. But yeah, we're coming back today, giving the reviews, and it was an exciting weekend. So why did we do it essentially?
Okay, so we wanted just to test out all this new stuff and see whether we could break the myth of whether using things for the first time at an event was as silly an idea as what we initially thought it would be. And it kind of goes against everything that we would ever, recommend to anyone. And we found that it actually wasn't as bad. We didn't have I don't reckon we even had a bad experience.
I had a bad experience, but that was my own issue, and I'll expand on that a little bit later on. But we still wouldn't advise this to anyone.
Yeah.
Do not do this. But this was just, just giggles and...
Yeah, so essentially the all-new review for us was doing an event that we'd never done before with gear that we'd never used before, which included nutrition, footwear, apparel, watches.
Everything you could think of.
Everything you could think of, sunnies, like everything that you could think of that you would normally not use for the first time, we used it for the first time.
Okay, so I'll give a quick overview on how it all played out. We put all the gear on at the start of the race, and it even went to recovery stage as well. We had a little bit of products for recovery stages. So we had our slides, our protein. So I think our first one is the UFA slides.
Yeah, so let's get straight into it because it's going to be a super long episode. We'll start from the bottom and we'll work our way up. So our UFA slides, which we've got on, we can show. I've got mine on, and we've been wearing them for the week since the event. So show them off. They're pretty flashy, these ones. They sent us these slides, but they're meant to have.
Hold on, wait. I want to tell a story.
All right.
So I'm looking at Dad, and because Dad organised most of this stuff, he was a little bit of a businessman, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, what's the difference? Like, because I didn't know much about UFA slides whatsoever. I'm like, so there has to be something about them, and you're telling me, oh yeah, they help you recover fast. I'm like, how are they supposed to help you recover faster? Like, there has to be something sciencey about it. And
lo and behold, I was the sciencey guy on this occasion, and I found out that they're 37% more absorbent in terms of impact.
Yeah.
So obviously, after an event, when you're sore, your knees are sore, everything needs more of a rest. The longer you spend in these, the quicker your muscles can recover because they're not taking the impact of daily use like you would normally find.
Yeah,
so,
I actually just wore them out throughout the whole week. It's just, as soon as I got home, they were on. As soon as we were in the podcast room, they were on. They were just on every single day.
I think that was probably the best way to test them out. And I've got other slides. I won't mention the company name that I've got, but
these pooped on them.
Yeah, these did poop on them a little bit because I kind of went from one to the other just to test them out, the difference. And these ones were a lot more softer, a lot more spongier. And although I think sometimes we talk about shoes when you get real marshmallowy shoes, that for training and things like that, they're probably not as good because you're not training your lower legs to be stronger. Yeah. But in a recovery phase, it's really important to give your body the best chance to recover. And these UFA slides, for me, I felt like they were fantastic. It didn't take me that long to recover. We did have other recovery things that we did use, so they obviously will contribute to how we felt throughout the week. But these, I reckon they were pretty good. So what are your kind of final thoughts on the UFA slides?
Well, another thing I had as well is usually when I'm wearing slides, the little top bit, as viewers who are watching, little top bit, I always, when I take a step, the top of my foot will clip on it, and it'll almost give me a sharp pain
Yeah, they are super
it's like
comfy.
an indent in the top of my foot, and these I get none of that. It's a really nice seam on the top, and it's very plush. It's just the actual material that comes around is the exact same as the bottom, so it actually feels really nice. And
Yeah,
you
they're
can
super.
adjust it.
The quality of these is super fantastic. I to be quite honest, the only bad thing about these is that they're fluoro yellow, and we live on a farm, and walking around on the farm, they can get a little bit dirty.
We got other
So,
farmers looking at us like, who the hell are these
yeah,
guys?
because we're the Bogan farmers, that's why. But yeah, these were fantastic. I will continue to use these just as a daily recovery slide as opposed to the other ones that I did have. So they might be retired, although I was pretty happy with them for years.
I don't see the harm in not using them anymore. The
Yeah.
37% is a very convincing number, and I recovered within 3 days. And obviously, there's other factors that might, affect that with the tailwind recovery we had. But
yeah, and
these
the fact that
definitely
you're
played
17.
and that. But these had a major role in that, I believe. And yeah, I'll continue wearing them.
Yeah,
Even if I get another color, I think that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, you can pay for them
Yeah,
yourself.
I will definitely.
So yeah, I actually thought that they're like one of those things that when you're chasing that edge for recovery, I think that these are perfect for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
big thumbs up to the UFA slides. Thanks for the guys for sending them over.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So next we'll go. Well, we had two options for footwear. They were the Tarkin Giants and the Ultras. So I had the Ultra.
So we had three, basically.
Yeah, we had three. So you had two and I had two.
Yeah.
But we'll start with the Tarkin Giants. And the Tarkin Giants were fantastic. Straight out of the box, I ran a marathon in them, and I hadn't even put them on my feet before the race. So that's a huge testament to the guys over at Tarkin for creating a shoe that you can actually just jump into and run a whole marathon. And you even asked me when we were like 20 or 30 kilometers in, you asked me, when are you going to change to the Ultras? And I said, no, I want to make sure that these can last a whole marathon. And they did. They were great. And the thing with the Tarkins is that they're a no-fuss shoe. The biggest, there's only one downside to Tarkin, to the Giants, and I've used the autopilots, but these ones were the first time for the trail shoes. The only downside of the Tarkins is that if someone says to me, what's so good about them? I can't say, they're super plush or they're super this or that. They're just a no-fuss shoe. You put it on and it just works. Often you find that you'll have shoes that you can say, they're super plush, but they're a little bit tight in the toe box, or they're really good at this, but they're a little bit slippery. Whereas the Tarkin Giants, they're the best all-round shoe that I reckon I've run in.
We found ourselves in a little bit of a predicament where we actually didn't want to switch shoes at all in the race because we were so comfortable in them. But I ended up switching into the Tarkin Giants, and I'm a quite simple person. I like my simple colors, unlike Dad's flashy poppy blue top and pink shorts.
Yep.
But yeah, I really like Tarkins because they're super simple, black and white. And yeah, I actually had a really good ground feel in them when I switched from the Ultras. Ultras are, I'll get into that afterwards. But yeah, I had a really good ground feel in them, and it was a very California carpet kind of terrain, gravelly in a way.
Just have never heard you say that.
Well, no.
California carpet.
Yeah,
Jeez.
you hear it.
It
in
sounds
Western
like
States.
a type of grass that you plant in your backyard and you mow and you. Yeah.
No, that's just what they call the trailers in California, Western States, and everything. But yeah, so these held up really well. Like I didn't find I slipped. They like the lugs and tread on these. You just won't slip on gravelly.
Yeah,
terrain.
I didn't find that I had any issues with them. I know that Blaine Burke wore them for 89 hours at King of the Hill, and he raved about them. I mean, I looked at them and thought, they are a bit of a simple looking shoe, looks wise, but
in saying that, like the design's actually quite cool. I think it's well thought out. They have changed actually they haven't. They've still got their little Tarkin
logo
there, and then
I thought they were great. There were a lot of things about them that I liked, but for me the biggest thing was that they're no fuss shoe. And for people with a slightly wider foot, not super wide,
I can agree. With
I actually felt like my foot wasn't cramped in there for a change, because I'm always using shoes that have a wider toe box. And these they were a really nice blend between the two. They weren't too tight and they weren't too, big in the.
These shoes aren't like other brands like Topper, who maybe prioritize the more round toe box.
Yeah.
I don't like this because I'm not a shoe person, but I'm talking like I know shoes, and I really don't know
You
shoes.
know what though? You know what the funny thing is? That how often, this is one thing that I will say to our listeners and viewers, is that when you go and look at a shoe review, often you'll find that the people that are reviewing their shoes, they don't run that much. They might run like 15 Ks a week or 20 Ks a week, and they've got this elaborate review of this shoe.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think, oh, you've got to be careful because you're recommending shoes to people, but have you really tested them out that much?
Yeah,
Right?
well, they're talking about the intricate details of the
the
forefoot and the
yeah.
midsole
Yeah.
and the foams.
Yeah, and we're doing a review and we're saying get these shoes because they're no fuss.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think I can back that up with they're wide. I found a lot more space in the shoe, especially transitioning from the Ultras, which I started in. These gave me that little bit more space in there, especially as well if you're doing a backyard Ultra. Think if your feet swell up a lot, and this is why Blaine Burke probably was wearing these a lot during King of the Hill. If they swell up a little bit, it's still got that extra space to fit your feet properly.
Yeah, 100%. Will you use them again?
Of course, I think I'll use them on my training runs. I actually got a voucher from Brett from Trails Plus and winning the event.
Yep.
And I think I'll buy another pair. Hopefully, we'll just have a discount off of it. And yeah, wearing them on flowy trails, even technical trails, I found that they were just super stable as well.
Yeah, I actually, I will definitely wear
They're a
them.
bit dusty.
They are a little bit dusty, and I love the fact that I got a marathon out of them straight out, brand new out of the box, because that's a testament to a shoe. If you can do that without having
to break it in.
Yeah, having to break it in. And from a guy who has I have a lot of foot issues. I've got a torn plantar. I've got an edema in my ankle. I've got plantar issues in my other foot. To be able to do that, I thought that was magic. So
we did. I had a scare with these shoes. I'll take it back. I had a scare with these shoes where on one of the laps I was running with Dad, and I'm like, why is my toe just stabbing every single time I was on my tippy toes? Obviously, when you're running up a hill, you're on your toes, and it's just stabbing. And I thought that there was something wrong with the shoe. Definitely not something wrong with the shoe. This is just a great, what would I say?
Reaffirmment of having to listen to Dad when he tells you to cut your toenails before a
having
race.
to listen to Dad. I didn't cut my toenails, guys. It was the worst thing ever. I thought it wouldn't be that big a deal. It clearly was. And yeah, something had been obviously it was just over time. My toenail was just getting into the underneath of my toe, and then stabbing.
Yeah, but you ended up taking care of that, and that wasn't.
It was still there, but I just dealt with it semi.
Well, you dealt with it pretty well because you ended up winning the race. So, but yeah, definitely a big plus for us. So
massive buy.
Yeah, massive buy. And so these guys have given us a free pair of these Tarkans to give away to a listener or a viewer. So if you go back on Instagram, if you go back to our giveaway promotions, if you just like and share or comment, we're going to be doing a huge prize draw for most of these brands who were able to give us some prizes on next week's show, which is the year in review show. So get on there if you.
Is it next week?
Yeah, it's next week. It's almost the end of the year.
Wow, that's
so get on board with Tarkan because they were fantastic.
Yeah.
So the next thing I used was obviously after running a marathon in those shoes, I ended up running a marathon in the Ultra Mont Blancs, and a little bit of information. These are a zero drop shoe. And I was absolutely terrified. It might have actually been part of the reason why
you can speak for both of us there.
Yeah. It might have been part of the reason why I was a little reluctant to get out of the Tarkans into the Ultras because they're a zero drop shoe. They do have. I know that they do have some shoes that do have like
but they're only slight,
3 or 4 mil.
It's 4 maximum, I believe.
Yeah, but everyone told us be careful of your calves because having zero drop, they work a little bit harder. Hence, if you're going to try this shoe, definitely don't do what we did and just brand new out of the box because you can blow up your calves. And that's what I was super nervous about. So if you are going to be using these shoes, and we highly recommend using them because they were fantastic for both of us, but maybe using them for one run a week for a few Ks just until your calves get used to it. And if your calves do start hurting, go back to your normal shoes that have got a little bit more support. But
Yeah, it's just like with anything. It's a slight adjustment, like in terms of when you're trying to adjust your form. You don't go changing everything under the sun. You just go one little thing at a time, whether that be raising your arms a little bit more. So this with this shoe, like Dad said, even putting it on just once a week and just ramping it up each week, that's how I would ease into them.
But with the Ultras, the Mont Blancs, they were amazing. They got a nice big toe box, which I absolutely love in a shoe. And I normally run in other shoes with a big toe box. And these ones, they were great. I actually found that they were probably a little bit lighter than the Tarkans, but they're also like, there's just the material's so thin and it's so airy. And I really enjoyed them. And the grip, they got a Vibram sole, which I always recommend to people. I always say, if you're looking for a shoe that's, you're going to be doing trails and stuff, if it has that little, I'll show you, that little yellow Vibram logo, they're magic, because they're like, the warmer they get, the grippier and stickier they get.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just thought they were good because Dad told me they were good.
Yeah, well, because that's good. When I told you to cut your toenails, you didn't listen to me.
Yeah, no. Well, I went with a shoe that was not a trail shoe. So Dad picked the trail shoe side of things. I went the road shoe side of things. And I was inspired a little bit by Hans Stroyer because he actually wears these shoes on trails. So
who's Hans Stroyer?
Hans Stroyer is a great up-and-coming athlete in America. He's just won JFK 50 miler. And, yeah, I just found that these were super lightweight. These shoes are incredibly lightweight. This has a carbon plate in it, so it's one of the more Ultra's top-end racing shoes. And, yeah, I actually really enjoyed how it's hard because these are so dirty. I made them so dirty. But I don't know if people can see. There's like it's very breathable mesh up here. And I found that on a hot day, my feet weren't actually getting very hot. And yeah, that just really helped me, especially when I was hitting higher paces. But such a cushion shoe propelled me like forward with my every step, like put pep in my step. And I just found it was great. The only thing I had an issue with was the heel. It is a little bit thinner. And I found that I had a little, I had no blisters. I just got on top of it a little bit earlier. I just thought I had a hot spot. So if people have heel issues in terms of blisters there, I'd be careful with these.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's your heel. It was just a little bit higher. It looked like it rubbed a little bit, and I think
on my Achilles in a way.
Yeah. Oh no.
More Achilles. More higher up. Heel Achilles.
I did because I ended up taping it up for you, but you can see in there. There's the shoe has a little bit of like a little padding there, and it might just be that slight rubbing that you're not used to something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you started in those shoes.
I started.
And then you switched to the Tarkans for a bit.
Yep. And
then you finished in those shoes.
Yeah. Well, in saying that, these had a little bit more of a tighter fit around the middle of my foot, which is when, like I said, with the Tarkans, they're a little bit more spacious. So that's really nice. But yeah, my strategy going into it was starting off in these shoes. Don't know why. I just thought they were cool because I wanted to test them out. And then I went to the Tarkans because obviously we need to do an on review. I need to test out the Tarkans. And they were amazing with space. And then I finished off in these because I knew I needed the speed. And obviously, like you said before, if someone comes to you about the Tarkans and they ask, what's so special about them? There's nothing much. There's no fuss shoe. Whereas with these, carbon plate, super speedy. And as well
but did you notice it's exactly what I said? Like, some shoes you'll rave about something, but then there'll be something slightly off. Like for you, it was the rubbing on the heel, but these had that little bit more pep. They had that little bit, and I think with those kinds of shoes, I found with the Ultras is that sometimes when you've got a shoe that hugs your foot really nicely, they're great for shorter distances because it doesn't give there's not enough time for issues to develop.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Tarkan Giants, you need something that is a little bit looser. It's a little bit more forgiving. Whereas something like that, it doesn't need to be forgiving because it's going to be snappy and fast.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call this a super shoe where you would go racing. Obviously, we race in them. I'd call it a super trainer. I'm definitely going to, I love it. Except for that heel bit, I think my heel will adjust. I love the shoe. And even the tread on it, I didn't slip at all.
We were on light trail.
We were on light trail, California carpet. And yeah, I just think, yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. Super cushiony as well.
Cool. Yeah, I did like the Ultras. I thought they were great. I thought we got pretty lucky that we managed. That was one of the two things we were most nervous about when it came to
Shoes.
testing things out.
Yeah.
That were our footwear and our nutrition. But we'll get into the nutrition
Yeah,
later.
so we didn't actually get any calf strains, anything like that.
No, I
pain.
ran 33 kilometers brand new out of the box with the Ultras,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
Apart from my legs were so fatigued that I actually couldn't run any faster. But that's a me problem.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't even feel sore in my calves at all the whole race. It was other muscles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think, and
Yeah, but
maybe that might come into me being more on my toes. I don't know. It's
I
something
think,
interesting.
I know for a fact. Don't take our word for it, but I know for a fact that you do need to adjust to shoes like that. It was pretty silly of us to do
Maybe
that.
we just got the luck of the draw.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So these guys also were very kind, and they're also doing a giveaway. So we've got a pair of the Mont Blanc Speeds that I wore and the
Carbon Vanish 2s.
Carbon Vanish 2s that Ollie wore. So, so go to our Instagram and comment and to
Yeah,
enter.
so we're saying Instagram. We do have specific posts. You'll see them clearly. And yeah. Oh, I actually don't think. Oh yeah.
We're gonna release some reels as well during the
Yeah.
week. So comment and on them as well if you whichever shoes that you want or any of the stuff that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And that way we'll put you in the draw, and then we're going to do like a massive giveaway next week where we're going to spin the wheel and have winners. I can't wait. I've actually been
same.
working on that during the week.
Same.
So all right, so let's go into our next thing.
do we have next?
So we're still at the feet, but we rally, whichever one you want to.
Yeah, whichever one you fancy.
You fancy how you pronounce it. These guys were great. They sent us out some toe socks, and we're big fans of toe socks. I found that I did not get a single blister using these toe socks, and I've been using toe socks for years, and I was always reluctant to go away from the brand that I was already using. But these guys reached out, and they're super nice. They're an up and coming brand, and they were so nice to send us these. In terms of features, I think that these guys have a slightly wider toe
Splay.
not so much splay. I think the room for your toes is a little bit more generous, which I found nice because I got fat toes from running for 15 years.
He's also got no toenails.
No, I've got toenails.
They've grown back. They have grown back.
See?
Oh,
There's a couple missing ones.
There's a couple guys that are
Missing
struggling.
ones. A lot of them are struggling. But yeah, these toes were these toe socks were fantastic. One of the great features on them, they actually have, which you can see, it says right and left on them, which really helps with the person that folds the washing in the house. Yeah. Because
it's just the simple things like that.
Yeah, it's simple. Like I know that it's not so much as a feature of how they work, but how you find them in the massive pile of washing that's normally on your couch. That really helps. But in terms of blisters or anything like that, rubbing, I got nothing. I found they were really comfy. Like I said, we used these. All we did actually, we didn't use them brand new.
Hold on, stop. I have something to say about this. So I was supposed to wear these socks,
right?
And these were the ones that were washed. And I went, no, I'm going to take it a step further. And literally 5 minutes before the race, I switched out to other black ones that were a little bit longer, the crew ones.
Yeah.
And they were completely brand new.
Oh, yeah?
And no blisters at all.
Oh,
like I did a video afterwards, absolutely no blisters. And usually, I'm not going to show my toe, but like usually on one of my toes, I have a blister that just won't go away. It just keeps reoccurring. And yeah, I didn't get any blisters whatsoever.
Oh, well, I used the pair that I washed that was, they were fantastic. But that's a pretty good, so that was brand new out of the box.
Absolutely brand new.
And that's highly not recommended either because what can happen is that the brand new material, your foot can rub more and slip. Because, everyone always recommends at least washing your socks. Or even if you just go on a short run, that's all right, and then you can wash them. But, the relay socks, they were fantastic. I would have no problems in continuing to wear them. They were pretty good for me.
Like the black ones, I'm completely fine with. I love black socks. I'm pretty simple like that. The white ones, however, they do stain, a little bit, I think. I did go on a run in my Carbon Vanish 2s last night in the white socks. and I noticed that there was a little bit of blue that rubbed off onto them.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the socks' fault.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. We have other white socks that don't rub off, but I don't know. And I'm just saying, the dust also attracted. I don't know if these attract a lot of dust.
I mean, if you're running on California carpet, then maybe they'll stay clean. Look, mine were filthy. I think
it was a very dusty course.
Yeah, it was a dusty course, and you would have seen mine on here. But they're socks. What do you? What do you expect?
I'm just being picky. Like, there's actually nothing performance-wise in terms of
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, you're right. Just maybe bleach them or something like that. But yeah, they were great. So, and also these guys gave us some giveaways as well. So go to our page and enter the draw for them.
I'll show these to the cameras.
Yeah, we've got a couple pairs of these to give away, which is fantastic.
So these are. I have something else to add. These are the mid, and you also got ankle ones, and you got the crew ones, which are slightly longer.
Yeah. All right. So we're still okay. So we're down. We're still at our feet. We're about to move up a little bit further, but the gooch goo. So,
well, you could argue this is all over.
This is all over. So these guys, we reached out to these guys, and they made a bit of a promise to us. Gooch Goo. Gooch Goo said to us that they're better than Bodyglide, which is something that I've been using for 15 years. And I thought that was a big call, but I thought I would try and see how we go. And what I found was that they were right. At the end of the day, the Gooch Goo is pretty good. I didn't just like the actual product itself. I actually liked the applicators that they sent us. Mm-hmm. So one is this kind of squeezy, kind of toothpastey applicator, which is a little bit. I will admit, it is a little bit hard to get out at times, right? But it's more for just using it a little bit, right, on a small blister or whatever it may be. Yeah. But then you've got the tin. Right.
I didn't actually know this. I just used it.
Yeah, you've got the tin, and one thing I've found, because I mean today's like a 20-degree day, but this is a lot better than rival companies that I've used, where it's just it's so hard.
Yes, you're right.
Do you get what I mean? It's so hard, and I'm trying there putting it on my bloody toes, and I can't get it on my toes because I'm trying to get it out. Especially
it's very chunky.
Yeah,
this is smooth, super easy to get on, and
it's
what happened during the race? We applied it at the start, and then I took a fast loop and applied it one more time, no blisters whatsoever.
Yeah,
and they're amazing. Super easy to apply on, and it actually there's a fair bit of actual product within the tub.
I thought that these guys were great. I love their name, Gooch Goo, because you do have to apply in other places as well.
You know where the gooch?
That's where you got to apply it. It was a hot day too, so it was a really good test for this product, and I found it was so easy to. The application of it was the easiest part of it. I had your mum actually throw me the tin when I was in the corral at one point. Just went and got some on my hand and threw it out. Whereas with other products, and I don't want to bag other products because they do still work and they have worked for me.
There's perks to every product,
right? But this is one of those products that I think that I will definitely continue to use. Because of the ease of use and how, there's a lot of events that I've done that it's been cold and I just can't get the stuff out. And I'm rubbing it on my hands, trying to get my body temperature to kind of slightly melt the product.
What we've had to do is actually put it over heat and melt certain products, because sometimes you're coming in. Bodyglide is good because obviously it's a rub-on thing, but this actually is it's great because it's super. I don't want to keep talking about how great the application on skin is, but it's great. Yeah. I don't think there's anything better, and it says a lot because you've definitely changed our minds, Gooch Goo. This will be our #1 anti-chafing cream.
Yeah, we'll have that. We're going to put that straight in the med box, and we're definitely going to use that.
And a lot of other people should definitely use it.
Yeah, I highly recommend, and they're not too expensive either. So that's something that I found. And once again, these guys. We've got their hat on, but we've got
good old rhino over there.
Yeah, the rhino over there's got the hat on, the Gooch Goo hat. So these guys also sent us a prize pack to give away, which is a tin, one of those tins the applicator and one of these awesome caps as well.
Yep.
So they were really kind to do that. I really appreciated it, and yeah, definitely a product to look out for that we
Yeah,
appreciate.
and also it doesn't have to be the feet, under the armpits, gooch everywhere.
Well, that was the one you like saying that word.
Well, it's their product.
Yeah, it's their product.
They must like saying that.
Yeah, it's funny. One thing I will add is that we used all new apparel, so and it hadn't been washed before, so the rubbing and things like that can also get to you. And we applied, obviously, like you said, under the arms and everywhere else, and that kind of. We didn't get any issues. Yeah. I actually had no chafing issues in warm conditions. And we were pouring, at the end of the race, people might have seen it, we were pouring water all over ourselves and all that kind of stuff. So
it says a lot about good screw. So well done.
Yes, well done. We did enjoy that.
And they lived up to their words.
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, it's a big call to leave you a letter saying,
we're better than this.
We're better than these guys, and they were. So, okay, so next we had Lululemon. We actually both kitted out in our Lululemon gear, and these guys were very kind to us. We reached out to them, and they had us come into their store to do a full fit test. Where we went in there, and Charlotte, she was lovely. She walked us around the store, and she said, "Do you like this?
Hold on.
Do you
what
like
was
this?"
your expectation of going into the store?
So I didn't know what a fit test was. I normally go in when I go to buy something, and I'm like, I like that, I'm just going to buy it. I would even stand at the rack.
We went to, what was it, Chaston?
Yeah, we had to chase them.
We're these bogan farmers going into this massive complex.
Yeah, we don't go into town into the city very often. But yeah, so we went in there, and normally I would look at something, and I would even just try something on there where the rack is itself. But she was really nice. She walked us around the store. She showed us all the stuff, and she's just pretty much said, "Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this color? Do you want to try this? Do you want to try that?" And me and Ollie like, "Yeah, we like this. We like that. Oh, we're in Lululemon." And my poor wife was walking around. We will release a reel of it, and she was there recording us going from rack to rack in Lululemon, which is predominantly a female fitness apparel brand, but they now have men's apparel as well. And they probably have for a little while. And she's there recording, and if she had the selfie cam on, she had the biggest sad face because we were there getting treated like kings, walking around the store going, "Oh yeah, I'll try that. Yeah, I'll try that." But yeah, it was a blast. Experience. Yeah, it was a great experience.
And she wanted us to get more. And we were like, no, we'll just have to top this thing with the shorts.
Yeah.
But getting to the actual product itself, I actually have no complaints. Yep. I genuinely couldn't have any complaints. The material is like no other. And I say that with very high standards. I think that we have a lot of we do have a lot of good tops at home, but these really outperform that. What are you doing? Let me know. Sorry, I just it's all good. Right. And you just like the feel of it, don't you? And yeah, it's just super lightweight and no chafing. Considering we wore it completely brand new, it wasn't even in the wash. It's so hard to describe the feeling of it. You just got to wear one. Charlotte was really great in terms of letting us know what each one was for. I think these ones they don't make you stink as much.
Yeah.
And I sniffed the armpit at the end of the race.
And you do normally stink. We've got to always soak your clothes. But I agree. I think that we often run in gear that's or tops that are just like race tops or things like that, and they're fine, right? And they're usually polyester and stuff like that, but they don't have too much tech or too much fancy materials behind them. And Lululemon, I mean, don't get me wrong, these aren't the cheapest tops going around, and neither was the singlet that I was running in on the day, but they felt like you weren't wearing anything. They were super lightweight.
Especially the singlet, because you put that on and you feel like you're wearing no top.
It is almost worth it just to spend that money to get something that's pretty decent. I had the pink shorts. I was running around.
We had different shorts as well. I had a pastel purple shorts. Mine had a little bit of a liner on the inside. Dad did not have that.
Yeah, so mine didn't have the liner in it, but I had T8 liner underwear anyway underneath, which was fine. I didn't have any issues with the shorts. I mean, I ran for 70 kilometers in them. They were fantastic. The one thing that I did find though is that Ollie, you had the the pocket for your phone.
On both sides, guys.
On both sides. So you had double the pockets. I had no pockets. So I wore, they actually sent us a little waist pack. And that was great. I quite enjoyed it. But I found when the pace picked up a little bit, it bounced a little bit. So I just kind of tucked it in at the back or at the front, depending on how I had the pouch, and it would stop bouncing. But I don't think that they're predominantly known for, their pouches as elite running pouches or anything like that.
Well, their pockets in their shorts were definitely elite.
Yeah.
Phone didn't bounce around whatsoever. When I was going down hills, there was one steep hill. I was going down at 310s on some of the last laps, and no bounce out. It was amazing. And I'll actually find that sometimes in other shorts that have a pocket, the screen will turn on and it'll start playing random music, opening different apps. This, nothing.
They didn't? Oh, I don't know whether they intended on doing that, but...
No, yeah. I just think the way the phone sits is just...
Yeah,
really nice.
No, yeah, 100%. I just don't reckon that they would have intended that. That would have been by accident, maybe. Yeah. But the most important thing about this stuff was, about the Lululemon gear, was when your mum put up a poll at who looked better, I won that poll. So that was the most important thing. My pink shorts won the day, and I don't care that you won the race, but I won the best dress competition. So which is good. I think that's what more can we say about Lululemon?
I don't know. I'm not a flashy dude. I'm under the radar.
Yeah.
I like my monotone.
Yeah,
green.
you do your talking on the course, not with your apparel choices. Look, yeah. So I thought the Lululemon stuff was fantastic. Once again, these guys have sent us a heap of stuff to send out. Unfortunately, obviously sizing and stuff like that we don't know for our listeners and viewers. So
they just thought it'd be safe just to send over their own pack.
Yeah, so we've got some packs. We've got some water bottles. We've got some hats. Their hats are far out. They feel amazing, just like these shirts. And the waist pack that I wore as well. So we've got a few of them to send out as well. Yep. So we'll put all that together. But I mean, they send us out, a few $100 worth of stuff, which was awesome.
Yeah. What do we have next? I think this might be my favorite.
Yeah.
We did have a question out on course on the day of what's your favorite gear choice, and they were all great, but I really like the Coros watches.
Yeah. Well, you like your Coros watch, don't you? Yeah. What was so good about it then?
It's made for runners. With Garmin, I'm not.
Well, we're not gonna mention other brands, but
rival brands. Specifically Garmin, I find that I've used their models in the past. They can be for more the general public. These are like for runners. The statistics behind everything in the watch, what it gives you, is amazing. Like you go into the app and it's just telling you your stride, height. How do you even know that? I know it's based off of some calculation in the watch or the movement in the watch, but it's very detailed. And one thing I do like about it is that with other brands, I noticed that they don't have to the second paces, right? So when I'm running a pace, this will tell me to the second when I'm going. And it got a little bit
instantaneous pace.
It took a while to get used to because I'm like, oh, that's a bit weird. But it's amazing. It's super lightweight. And this is definitely a watch that'll be seen at a lot of elite races, on a lot of elite athletes, because I think
who wears them at the moment?
Well, Kelly Jornet wears it.
Yeah,
he was the one that was behind testing all of this.
Yeah.
Hans Troyer wears it. Caleb Olsen wears it. All these Coros sponsored athletes.
Yeah.
They I think when you were in contact with one of the people who runs Coros, this will be the watch that they're going in the direction of.
Yeah, 100%. And because I think and it's smart. Like, I mean, we talk a lot about backyard ultras and these long distance races and things like that. It's such a small niche
area of
the market that they kind of built a watch that can almost cross over, because this will last 40 plus hours on
I actually look back
full
down,
GPS mode.
After Last Legend, my battery was like at 82. So it lost 18% the whole time.
Yeah, and you were out there for like 10, 11 hours.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big testament to how long it can go for.
And even now, it's at like 65.
Yeah. Look, it's super impressive. It's got this awesome little turny wheel on the side.
It's simplistic. It's what you need.
Yeah, I really like the Coros. I found I started the race and I was frustrated because I didn't set up any of the fields because I just used a brand new out of the box essentially. And I'm running and it's not telling me my instantaneous pace. It wasn't telling me my lap pace on the screen that I wanted it to. And I actually grabbed my phone out in the first couple of laps because I had a little bit of spare time. And you said that you could change it on the phone, and I thought,
He did this in the middle of the lap, by the way.
in the middle of the lap, the watch is running, recording, and I've got my phone out, and I'm changing my data screens on the go. And I thought, you know what? I'll push send. I sent it, and I looked at the watch, and it instantaneously changed on the go. And I'm like, oh, geez, that's impressive.
There's even little things that just really make this watch stand out. The touchscreen, obviously, you have a touchscreen on the watch on the Apex 4, but
oh yeah, we didn't say what they were.
Yeah. So these are Apex 4s.
So these are Coros Apex 4.
One of their newer models.
Yep.
Or the newest, I believe. And in the shower, I noticed with other brands, when my touchscreen is on, all the water is making it go all crazy and bloody bonkers. But with this, it actually, and it can sometimes get annoying. Obviously, I've started. Maybe you haven't done yours. What you have to do is you actually have to hold the button to unlock it. And whilst it's locked, that water won't do anything to the touchscreen. So I think that's super smart.
Yeah, that is a good little feature.
Super, super duper smart. Even with the same in terms of when you're finishing an activity, you have to hold down the button for 3 seconds because I know I've been caught out sometimes in some of our runs where I'll accidentally pause it and then I'll accidentally somehow flick to the finish. And then when I go to restart it, I'll click finish instead. That'll never happen because you actually have to hold down the button to finish your activity for 3 seconds. And that gives you oh, no, that's not what I want to do. Let go and go back and resume the activity. Another thing is I found that, like, one thing I would do differently. I actually think I haven't tested out the light on the watch. I know some.
I did. I tested it out. Yeah. So you can increase the brightness up and down for like the little torch. And it is just the screen, but you can go up and down. And it's enough to be able to get around the room and things like that. Yeah. Probably not enough to run off. Okay. But yeah, like I mean, for what you use it for, it's fantastic. The two biggest features of the Coros Apex 4 that I found were really helpful for me was when I finished the run, the stats are all there and you're kind of scrolling through them and you can just see, yep, oh, that's what I was doing. And yep, that's what I was doing. It doesn't need to upload to a phone or anything like that. Because often you finish a run and you're there stretching or doing whatever and you want to kind of look at the stats that are on that watch. And, you know, I thought that was pretty cool.
Even talk about the stats, I like how, and some people might disagree, I like how with sleep scores, they don't actually give you a number. And people might get wrapped around in their head of, oh, I got a 50 sleep score. And you almost
convince yourself that you had a bad sleep.
You convince yourself that you had a bad sleep, whereas this is good, fair. That's all I've got so far. I haven't got excellent or anything like that. So I really like that side of things. But yeah, I think...
there was a couple other things that I had on this watch. The unboxing process of this watch was like the most fun thing that I've done since I was 12 years old and unboxing my Sega Mega Drive, right? You don't know what that is, and you'll never know.
I know it's cool though.
It sounded pretty cool. Yeah, it's a Sega Mega Drive. So yeah, it was one of the best things ever. But unboxing this watch was so satisfying. The little rip tabs, the way things, like I felt like I'm watching a reel, and you know when something goes,
ASMR.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right? Well, that's exactly what it felt like. I'm like, this is so cool, and I'm getting it out, and everything's sleek, and I don't know, the interference fit of the box to this. It was like that Sega Mega Drive back when I was 12.
Coros has really outdone a lot of other brands. I think the way they have their website set up, it's amazing. You click on the Apex 4 and it tells you all the details that you need to know what it's for, and it just looks appealing. Like you go into a watch company, and if they don't look appealing, you're more likely not to buy it. But they have really outdone a lot of brands, and it's an amazing watch.
Yeah, it is cool. the last thing I want to mention about the Koros is the fact that it is nowhere near as expensive as other brands.
So
It's
you say
not,
other brands.
yeah, because I don't want to diss other brands,
yeah.
and they're nowhere near as expensive, which is a big plus for the features that this watch has. It's nowhere near as. I think you can pick them up for $700-800,
Yeah.
and probably that's on Boxing Day. But definitely. Yeah, definitely get onto these. If you're in the market for a new watch, we highly recommend it. There wasn't anything that I could say that wasn't great. The only thing that I will say is that if you're a backyard ultra runner that runs over 40 hours, then you might have to click it on charge a couple times or once for an hour or whatever during a lap, and it'll fully charge up and it'll be fine. But if that is make or break, is that worth an extra $700? It probably isn't.
Yeah.
So
I
it is a
think
fantastic watch.
It's made for runners. It's made for the fast-paced people. It's great.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So let's get into our next thing. Oh, yeah. So let's get into our next thing, which was our nutrition, which was the thing that we were probably the most concerned about. So we've been using other brands for years now, and we thought we would take on board something else. So I discovered these guys at King of the Hill. I knew that they were, providing nutrition. I think they were the sponsor for King of the Hill, and we had and I seen everyone chewing into these energy waffles, which are, if you have a look, they're just these ones. Right. And I wanted to try them for myself, but then I had the idea of actually contacting Eric from Maple Roo and seeing whether they would jump on board with the all new review. And they were fantastic. They're a very new brand in Australia, but obviously Maple Roo, it's a maple syrup based product. So the waffles are maple.
No kangaroo, unfortunately.
No kangaroo. Yes, because they're not a protein brand. And we don't eat our national mascot. But anyway, so these guys were really good. So they've got like a electrolyte and carb mix. They've got the waffles and they had the gels. So we tried all of them. We put together a nutrition plan where we would have a scoop of the electrolyte and carb mix an hour. We had a waffle an hour, and we had the gels one per hour. And what did that equate to carbs
This did
wise?
vary though.
Towards the end it did, but our plan. What was our plan?
We were probably getting 70 to 90 grams of carbs, but at points I actually found that I was probably getting over 100.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna have a chew on one of these.
Oh, can I have half? I'm pretty hungry.
You want half?
Yeah.
You've been hungry. All right. There you go.
So yeah, I think we had to actually save it. Like Dad said, we saw him at King of the Hill. We actually were given samples from King of the Hill, and we couldn't have them for 5 weeks before the race.
Yeah.
It was
Well, you begged me about 10 times.
very upsetting. But
yeah.
we want to talk about a little bit about the gels. I think.
Yeah. You go first about the gels. What did you find with the gels?
Coffee flavor, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It tastes like coffee. Tastes like maple syrup.
Oh, can I just cut you off? This is one thing I really want to say about the Maple Roo gels, the coffee flavored gels. If you enjoy coffee and drinking coffee, that moment in the morning when you first wake up and you brew that coffee and that first sip, when it hits the back of your throat, you're like, oh, it's amazing. That's what having the Maple Roo coffee gel actually feels like.
Thank you for your imagery.
Yeah. Oh, I closed my eyes. I was imagining that for first morning coffee. So that's what it actually tastes like to have one of those gels. And it was amazing. We were craving them towards the end, weren't we? And the bonus of them is, yes, they do have caffeine in them, but they're not. It's not like some gels that I've used before where it's 100 milligrams of caffeine in one gel. Because if you do like the taste of it, it's not like you're going to have one an hour, or else you're going to OD on caffeine and get the jitters. It's 30 milligrams of caffeine, which you could just about. I reckon when I have a caffeine plan, for a race, I'll actually have maybe 100 milligrams every 3 to 4 hours. So if you were taking one of them an hour, you would get away with it.
The thing is, 30 milligrams might not sound super convincing as a number in terms of if you want more caffeine, but there is a placebo effect I find with this. You might take a no-dose, has a lot of caffeine in it, but it doesn't taste like coffee. And or you get that little hint of it on your tongue, on your palate. But this, you actually might get a placebo effect of, oh, I'm having a coffee now. I love the fact with these as well is that so easy to get down. I don't know if people saw me, but I was just like chugging them like shots.
What's the word that you use?
Slurping,
yeah.
Yeah, so you just get it in your mouth and you just slurp it down quickly past the palate. But it's not even like I need to do that because I'm craving the flavour. I love the raspberry flavour. I love the coffee flavour.
Yeah, I reckon.
Carbs in these varies to 25 to 30 grams of carbs, which is a much larger number than what we're normally used to on other gels.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely found it was great. And like, if you're talking about the taste of the electrolyte and carb mix, the taste of it was real subtle. And we were actually nervous because what happened was we started the race with 500 ml of liquid and you got some waffle around your face.
Thank you.
Yeah, we started the race with 500 ml. You still got a little bit of waffle on your face.
Yeah, I'm a bloody mess.
Just go like this. You don't have to wipe it with you're a donkey. Would you like me to lick my thumb and wipe it off your face for you?
No. I think I'm a big boy.
You're a big boy. You can wipe your face out.
Is it all right? Am I right?
Yeah, you're okay now. So, yeah, we started off with 500 ml and we decreased it to 300 ml of liquid with one scoop because we found that we were probably taking on a little bit too much
Well, I was
fluid.
peeing a lot.
Yeah, so we were taking on a little bit too much fluid. So we decreased it and we thought the problem might be that the intensity of the flavour might be a little bit too much, and it wasn't.
No,
it was actually – I know that it is maple and it is because it's maple lemon lime. I just found that it was nice on the palate. It was really, really nice on the palate. And the sustained energy as well. We always try and make sure that we're constantly consuming energy. We're not the type of runners that will have a gel at the start of an hour or something like that and then not have anything for another hour. We're always kind of consuming. And I think with the caffeine intake as well, that helped as well. And I felt like I had energy throughout the whole day. Another big point for me was how my tummy felt because in this particular racing format, it was diminishing time. So towards the end, you didn't have time for toilet breaks, especially number twos, and that could be really, really tricky in this kind of format. And it didn't upset my tummy. I didn't feel like I had to constantly go to the toilet. And the times that I did have to, everything was working as it should down there. So that's a big plus.
You had to strategize when you took your toilet breaks and when your last one was with. I'll put this back up with. Especially number two breaks. But Dad's right. I kept on top of this throughout the whole race. Never got taste fatigue at all throughout the whole 10 hours. Like Dad said, it's a very subtle taste with the powder. And you might think, oh, it's maple, but it really doesn't have that strong maple syrup flavor just like the gels. It's a very subtle, nice on the palate. Not too overpowering. God, I sound like a chef. Chef describing foods. But yeah, and I like the aftertaste as well. It made me it just tasted great. And I never towards the end especially obviously I don't want to keep consuming because you're tired. You just want to get the race over and done with. But it actually motivated me to keep consuming because it tasted so good.
Yeah, I found towards the end, we'll be honest.
This is the downside.
The only downside was that as the intensity got more and more, and I don't know whether the energy waffles are made for this, but as the intensity kicked into gear, I don't know whether it's I don't think it's the product. It's the fact that chewing something. If you had given me a sandwich with Nutella in it, I probably wouldn't have wanted to chew on that either. So we did switch out for the last probably hour or two. We switched out the waffles and consumed more gels. So just to continue getting that energy. But we also had the energy waffles for breakfast with a banana to start the day, which was really, really good. I thought that was great.
I'll go back to the end of the day. There was something I was a little bit worried about with not having enough energy because it's such a progressive run. You're going so slow and then such high intensity after so many Ks. I thought that I would be really struggling with energy, but I was full of energy. I was completely fine. Obviously, tumbling over the line, I wasn't. But to be able to like sustain me and for that long, for the first time, and me ever trying this is great. Like
Yep.
Maple Root did an awesome job.
Yep.
Didn't have a single gut issue.
Yep.
Not a single gut issue. Nothing whatsoever. So that says a lot about Maple Root. Try it out.
Yeah, I thought they were great, and I've had this question in the past because Ollie and I have been using Tailwind for years. They're a fantastic product. They've sustained us for years, but I have recommended it to some people, and it hasn't agreed with them. So out of this whole experience, I'm super grateful that now when someone comes up to me and says, "Tim, what do you use?" and I say, "I use Tailwind," and they turn around and say, "Oh, we've tried that. It doesn't work." I can say Maple Root as well. So I'm super grateful that I had that. I'm able to do that. And the guys at Maple Root, even I think something like Maple Root, because it's a natural product as well. I think these guys are going places because for that very reason. And they're predominantly based in triathlon and stuff. But I'm glad that I can kind of throw some of the gels in
The
to
gels
my
are
bag
phenomenal.
and the waffles as well. Because when I'm at a backyard ultra, if I'm coming in and it's not as high intensity, so I can still eat and I can still consume, and I'm always looking for other things to add to the mix. And I've used other gels, and they're fine, they're good, but having something else to mix up with, especially the coffee gels from Maple Root and the waffles, they're amazing.
Yeah,
so
well, the gels are definitely different. They're a syrupy. They're basically maple syrup, but they're just so easy to get down. I just that's my favorite thing about it. It's so easy to get down, especially in such high intensity things. I was coming in with the 30 seconds, chugging it, getting out there.
Yeah, and it's a testament. Like, I mean, I had a top 10 finish and you won the race on never using this product before. So, I mean, they did a fantastic job. So
and my carbs ramped up towards the end as well.
That's right, because obviously you're burning them a lot more energy. These guys were also super kind, and we've got some waffles to send out. We've got a heap of gels to send out to a listener or a viewer. So jump on our site and sign up to the giveaway. So that we can, get it out to you, and we'll spin the wheel next week for a giveaway. But essentially at the end of the day, Maple Root, they were fantastic. I was a little nervous, but they promised us that we would be okay.
We were very nervous.
Yes, we were very nervous. All right, so we've got a few more to get through.
Yeah. How long have we been going?
We've been going for a little while.
An hour and 2 minutes.
That's all right. It's all right. But I mean, we're super excited because we had a really good experience, and I mean, like I said, it's a testament. You end up winning the race. I had a good performance as well, and we ended up.
It's an
with all the
interesting
new
thing.
stuff.
It's such a weird thing with all new gear, and we performed so well.
Yeah, we had an awesome.
We had a day.
Yeah, we had a day, of course. All right, so next we're moving up. So we've got the knockaround sunnies. So my Rhino is wearing mine here. I'll take them off. I'll chuck them on. I reckon these were great. I have used knockaround sunnies before. And I've used them for a couple of years. I used them at Biggs a couple of years ago, and they were the Torrey Pines Sports.
I have them on.
Which you have those ones on, and I have absolutely loved my Torrey Pines Sports. And what I really like about them, and I don't know, what do you think? Like the little grips on the inside, they actually don't have an adjustable grip like my Flight Paths do. But these little grips on yours, it just stays on your nose.
They're a nice little indent in there, right? They're not too big. They're not out there.
Did you find they were bouncing around?
No bounce whatsoever when I had them on. I just think that they were great. They don't even.
They don't bounce around.
Nothing.
I was nervous because I went, obviously, because it's the all new review, and I couldn't wear those ones because I've worn them before. So I went the Flight Pass, and they were really kind to us, and they sent them out to me. And these were great.
They have a variety of designs as well. It's not even just these ones. I really like this design. I think
they're the ones.
nice.
If you like those ones, chuck them on, Ollie. They're the ones that they sent for us for a listener to win.
The Moonshot Torrey Pines.
Yeah, Moonshot Torrey Pines Sports. So neither of these are polarized. Now, this is a thing that I thought polarized lenses were the in thing, and they do have their use, and they're more for glare. So if you're concerned about glare or anything like that, get polarized lenses. But have you ever found that when you pick up your phone, you can't see the screen?
I've never noticed it,
Oh,
but because I don't think I've worn polarized
yeah, you might
glasses.
have. So I have other glasses for prescription and stuff like that they'll be polarized, or I've worn other glasses, sunnies that have been polarized, and I can't see my screens. And when I was out there trying to change my screens and stuff on the Coros watch, I got my phone out. I'm doing it there, and I forgot that. Hang on, these aren't polarized. This is great. So the polarization has actually nothing to do with the UV of the actual glasses themselves. So the knockarounds, they're full Aussie standard UV and stuff like that. They don't bounce around, which is fantastic. And like mine were comfy. And the one big thing, so I'll put these on. I had the sunnies on, I had my hat on, and I had the Shocks Open Run Pro 2s, which we'll review in a sec, right? I had everything on, right? I was running around, and I didn't even notice I got three things on my head, and I wasn't uncomfortable at all.
Yeah,
I was
you're
like
also
this.
right.
I was like this for 9 hours running around, and without even noticing that I had any issues.
A big plus
I
of
didn't
the
have any issues.
knockarounds I found with myself is that they're not too clunky. I've worn glasses in the past, and I'm not big on sunglasses. I don't wear them all the time, but
You
I've
probably
noticed
should to protect your eyes.
I probably should, and I will now that I got the knockarounds. But I feel like a lot of glasses I've worn in the past are super clunky, and I just feel like there's this massive thing on my head. These glasses are pretty big. I don't feel like there's anything on my head, and they're just super comfy around my ears. Not too. I'm not a sunglasses. What do you call these things?
The arms.
There you go. Yeah,
Arms. So your arms have like they're springy out, aren't they? Pretty sure they are. Yeah. Yeah. They spring out like that.
do they? I
Yeah,
don't
so you don't break them. So
Oh,
I don't. They will break if you go all the way.
okay.
you
Yeah.
donkey.
Well, that's another thing. They spring out.
Yeah.
So they don't break easily.
Yeah.
But
These are all like anti-shock, I mean, they're meant to be
They're-
super duper
they're
glasses.
bloody great sunglasses.
One thing I want to mention about these knockarounds is the fact that, so I don't want to mention other brands, but I have used other brands that I've seen online, and they're in the same price range, maybe slightly cheaper. And then there's your super duper high end, you got Oakley and stuff like that. They're like $300-400 for a pair of sunnies. I ain't paying that much because I'd be too scared to break them. But these are the only ones that I've ever worn that I have found they don't scratch up easily. They last. My Tory Pine Sports, the ones that I've got, I can't remember the exact color. It's like a forest green.
They don't sell them anymore. I don't think in Australia.
Don't they?
No, they're a rare species.
Oh, they're a rare species. I've had two of them. One of them I lost in the States, and then I come back home and I bought another pair because I liked them so much. But that's what I found. I found that the quality of them is really good for the price range that they're in as well.
Yeah, I can add on that it's amazing. The actual quality that you're looking at it's not cheap materials. It doesn't seem like other brands. It's a super well built thing, and
they were great. So, and we're really appreciative that they sent them out to us, and that we've got the ones like yours, the moonshots, to send out to a listener who likes our promotional giveaway.
There are instructions on our posts that we've done on our page.
Yeah, that's right.
On Instagram.
Yep. So you just go to those instructions and follow through, and then we'll spin the wheel next week to give away a pair of those.
I'll definitely be using them.
Yes. Okay. So next up we have the Shocks headphones. All right. Do you want to start us off with the Shocks?
We have had the ones before, but these are different. All right. I think one big noticement, one thing I noticed a lot is that when I have them on and I'm playing music with the ones, there was a lot of vibration.
Oh yeah,
I don't get
you didn't
anything.
like it because it tickled you, didn't it?
No, it tickled me sometimes, and this no vibration whatsoever with the Shocks headphones, and super simple. I do want to know. I just want to know why they don't have a backwards and forwards button.
They do.
They have a forwards button where you can skip songs.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you can go backwards.
Okay.
Same thing with the ones. That's one thing I want to see.
I reckon that there would be.
Maybe I'm just
Maybe if you read
stupid.
the instructions.
Maybe if I'm just being stupid and
I don't think you're being stupid. I just think that you need to read the instructions. But I really liked them. Just like I said with the knockarounds, I was able to put them on and be able to have a hat on, be able to have sunnies on, and they just worked really well. What I did like about them is that the sound quality of these is a lot better than what the previous model was. But one thing I will say is don't expect the same sound quality, doesn't matter what anyone says, that you would get as like real fancy Bose in-ear ones, right? But just like the shoes we mentioned, there are features that you really, depending on what you're using it for. So something like what we were using for, it was amazing. We go out there, someone runs past you and wants to have says hello, you can hear them and you can still hear your music. And then you can quickly push the button and have a conversation. You can't do that with in-ear headphones because you got no idea.
Yeah.
Awareness for cars. Like we run to park run and back. These are perfect for that. You've always got kind of cars shooting past. Or
Sometimes
like
we're running on highways.
Yeah. Or we'll be running in the middle of the road because you don't want to run on the camber of the road because you don't want to stuff one side of your body up. But then just to be able to hear a car come up behind you, these are fantastic. Mine lasted all day on one charge, and I was really impressed. Compared to the ones, I'm really impressed with the twos. So I'm glad that these guys, send them out to us because, they're no fuss and they connect up straight away. We go on.
Adding from what Dad was talking about with other headphones and how these might not compare in terms of volume, you actually find that I've experienced in the past where if I have earphones in and it's just getting too loud, and I like the pump up. It's super loud. I love it, and for maybe like 2 minutes. But then I start to get a headache. With these, no headaches whatsoever at all. But what you do notice is that you're not so wow when you first put them on. They're like you're almost going max volume, and they're not even they don't even feel like they're loud at all. But there's some magical thing that happens when the intensity gets bumped up. These bad boys just tune the hell up. They're so loud, and so just run faster, run harder, pick up the intensity. These will get louder.
Yeah, you know what I think the experience that you're experiencing there. One, you're very pumped up, but two, it's like when you go to a JB Hi-Fi or a store where you go to buy a TV. And when you look at all the TVs, the most expensive TV is the clearest and the brightest, and you just can't believe it. And then the one that you want to buy that's $1,000 cheaper, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as that, right? But then you bring it home, and it's like, oh, this is fantastic. So it's almost that aspect that when you put them on and you can hear the music going, after a while, it's just like, oh yeah, this is just what it sounds like. And then you're right, because the music and what you can hear coming out of the headphones sounds a hell of a lot better.
You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. Maybe not at the start, but you will be surprised how, like, I'll actually find that regardless of whether they're bone conduction and I don't have full earphones in, I sometimes can't even hear people around me when I have them on max volume.
Because you're in zone.
Yeah. That's right. You got to get in the zone with these. When you're in the zone, you're in the zone with the music, with everything, with the pain. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. Like music, for me, that kind of got me through most of the race, having the tunes in, which was great. Again, these guys were kind enough to send us 2 pairs of Shocks Open Run Pros to give away. So sign up. We'll have it in the notes, the description in the notes, how to sign up to everything and win them on next week's show, which is cool.
Oh gosh.
Next.
What are we at?
Oh,
Jeepers.
no. It's all right. It's all right. We've got a couple more things to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We
All
don't
right.
have too much.
So our next thing was our tailwind recovery. So these guys have gone and bumped up the protein in their recovery mix
So from like 12 to 20 grams.
to 20 grams. And Both of us have recovered extremely well. I was running 3 days after the event. But you know what? The only thing that was really sore after the event for me was my hammies were just tight, but and a little bit of fatigue. But we've been taking it day and night now for a week, and I always talk about the tailwind recovery, the old one that we used to take. It's the only recovery mix that I actually found that it made a huge difference. And I think what it is, it's because it's got protein, got carbs, and it's got electrolytes. So it's not just, I'm taking protein, I'm recovering. Because often, people that do a heap of weights and things like that, they take protein, which is great. But it's proven that the mixture of the carbs and the protein is what, I'm not going to do the sciencey side of it. I know I can just see you looking at me. I'm trying to get sciencey and I'm like, do I just...
No, you're completely right.
Or do I just handball it to you?
You're completely right. There's so many studies that say that the mixture of carbs and protein afterwards completely boosts recovery significantly when you're only taking protein. So the mixture of both can be sometimes hard. I do say that you can just have a banana and some eggs and protein, some eggs. But this is all in one, and it's amazing. And I had this day and night, like Dad said, like it was the only thing I was eating. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, basically. It was great. And
how many shakes of these did you have?
A lot. I don't know.
No wonder we got none left.
I don't know.
We got none left to give away.
No, we have a bunch to give away. We have a bunch. I don't know if Dad had all the flavors. But I did.
I stole the strawberry flavor to work, and it's at work.
That's one flavor I didn't have. I had a sip of it and then gave it to you at the event.
Yeah. I actually really liked the strawberry flavor. That's why I ended up at work. But yes, I tried the strawberry flavor. I tried the chocolate flavor. I don't think I tried the vanilla.
I did.
But yeah. I really liked it. The fact that they've bumped the protein up is a big plus for me. And even looking at it, like it's just got everything like your magnesium, potassium, iron. I didn't realize they had iron in it. That's like 15% of your iron intake, one of these. So I think as an all-round recovery mix, I never really thought about recovery proteins and things like that in the way that these guys do. I always just thought, protein and that's it. But this isn't actually what your body needs all round.
They're really taking into account the new science behind things of what makes you recover faster with carbs and protein. Out of all the flavors, I would say birthday cake was mine.
Yes, that's right. We had the birthday cake flavor.
They don't have it in these big bags.
They got in those stick packs.
Yeah, so they've got it in the little sample ones. It was great. I really liked it, but in the big bags, I have to go. I didn't mind vanilla. Yeah. Vanilla was actually quite nice. I wasn't a big fan of it in the old Tailwind. I say old, I think they still sell it, but the other one that is less protein. But this actually I don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the recovery side of it and how you actually feel.
It says a lot as well, the combination of both the UFA slides and the Tailwind recovery and what I literally recovered within 2 to 3 days. Like I wasn't sore. I was maybe sore, really badly sore just a day after, and that's it.
Yeah. So I reckon, definitely add that to the mix because it's one of. I very rarely do I talk about things that I would 100% use, but and I can notice the difference. Like things like magnesium, it's a big plus. I like the pillar stuff, but that recovery mix is the bomb. So and. Look, these guys were kind enough to send us a heap of that recovery mix in stick packs. Yeah, so we've got a couple of those packs to give away.
We have a couple of ideas on how we're going to give it away.
Yeah, we've got a couple of ideas of how we're going to give them away. But for the all new review, we've got 2 packs to give away for our listeners. So and they've got like eight I think sticks to try.
Yeah.
All the different flavors. Got the strawberry, my favorite. Your birthday cake.
They even have the endurance
mix in there. Yeah, well, yeah, they do.
Yep.
So we've got a couple of them. So thanks to Tailwind, who have always been a really good supporter.
All the products that we used.
All right, our last.
You wouldn't say product, but.
Yeah, our last thing that we obviously review, and we obviously will only briefly touch on it because we did a whole show on The Last Legend, but the Trails Plus event where we actually got to test all this stuff, it was such a good event. Now, a week on, how are you feeling, Ollie, a week on after the event when you look back on it, the format, how how it all unraveled. Not so much, your win and stuff like that, but the actual event itself.
It was a great experience. We met so many new people. People were just lovely. It was great because you were able to see some people every 2.5 kilometers under half an hour, whereas in other events you might be waiting hours to see your whether that be your crew, your runner. Everyone's just there pumping each other up, and I just felt like the vibe going into the place was amazing every single time. You were looking forward to get back because everyone was cheering, everyone was pumping each other up, everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Yeah, Brett put on a really good event. And Pato from the Backyard Ultra podcast, actually, I had a conversation with him during the week, and he mentioned that the Last Legend, Last Man Standing format is almost like the 2020 of one-day cricket or test cricket because in terms of Backyard Ultra. So you got the Backyard Ultra, which is like a test match or a one day. And then the 2020 is the super exciting, bang, 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 over in one day or half a day kind of event. And yeah, so he made that real cool comparison because that's what it was like. It was you started on that day, you finished on that day. The intensity got real hot in the kitchen right towards the end. And it was just one of those events where they blew it out of the park. I had such a good time. I'm glad that I tried the format, and I hope, and we had a couple people actually say that they hope that the format actually grows beyond just being the Last Legend that Trails Plus do, that other people decide, hey, I like that format, I might try that.
Because it is a very interesting format. It's referred to as the Ultra Beep Test.
Yeah, it is the Ultra Beep Test, and it's for me. I thought the course was great. It felt quick. It was a little bit rolly, which was good. It wasn't like completely flat. It finished really quick as well. We didn't have to wait days to see the finisher because often in a Backyard Ultra, I think we mentioned on the Last Legend episode, often you have 2 or 3 people left. They could be going for another 3 or 4 days, whereas this was all over in 2 hours essentially.
And you have runners coming from everywhere, all different kinds of backgrounds, whether it be endurance like yourself, speed, just your everyday runner. Everybody can come into this event and put in whatever they're going to.
Yeah, and they essentially can chase their distance goals, whether it be half marathon, and it's quite inclusive and easy to do.
It's a good format because it's not specific. You don't have a specific trait to win.
No.
You don't have to have a specific trait to go the distance. I said,
it's interesting.
Speed, the endurance.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it almost creates its own. The format creates its own type of athlete. You need to be quick, but you also need to have endurance.
But you also need to have the grit.
Yeah, you also need to have a bit of grit too. But
and the calm.
Yeah, the calm as well and patience. But it's almost all squashed into this 9 to 10 hour event, which is really cool. So we won't talk about it Last Legend anymore.
Yeah, check the other episode out.
Yeah, last week's episode was all about Last Legend. So if you want to know more about the race, how it unfolded and things like that, race specific, go check that out. But Brett from Trails Plus has been super kind and he has given away a ticket to the MVP Backyard Ultra, which is in February. And that's a $250 ticket, which is not too bad. And yeah, we'll spin that up next week, and hopefully, the winner of that ticket gets to attend the event.
Ooh,
which is cool. And that's it. We have reviewed everything here, and like all the products were fantastic. There was very little that went wrong. You know what? You can't go and win a race.
I'm genuinely so surprised how little went wrong.
Yeah, well, you can't go and win a race and then go and complain about the products that you used because you won the race. What more could you do? Yeah. So, yeah, we found that, all the stuff was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And, I'm super grateful to all the brands that trusted us to test it out and then come back and review the products because at the end of the day, without all those brands, we wouldn't be able to put on a podcast like this, test all this stuff out, and then give our recommendations to our listeners. And it's a testament to the brands to trust us with it because none of the brands turned around and said, you need to do a good review. All the brands said, we're going to give you this stuff. We just want your honest feedback. And And honestly, that's what we've been able to bring back here. We have mentioned a couple of things that, could be a little bit better, could be fixed, but at the end of the day, they're really small things. And often we'll find it's a personal preference as well. Like I said, things like tailwind in the past, I've recommended to people and they've said, oh, that hasn't worked for me. Well, yeah, it's a personal preference. Same as the shoes. Like we've recommended them because for us, all this stuff has worked really well. And it may not always work for everyone else, but I reckon you can, if you're willing to send your product to someone and say to them, review it and just let us know your feedback, you must believe in your own product. So like I said again, thank you so much for these guys. We really appreciate that they were able to help us out. And for the $2,500 worth of prizes that we're going to give away this week, it's
we
awesome.
couldn't do it a bit without them, but we also couldn't do it without you guys, the listeners. We go to these companies and we go, this is what we're having, our listeners, our stats, and that's what decides a lot of this stuff, the follows, everything. So we're super grateful for everyone else as well that's supporting us on this journey, because we're just two amateurs just fumbling our way through this process. But we like to put on a good show.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that we managed well. You put on an incredible show at Last Legend. I just kind of just waddled my way through the event. But so how about we get into some listener questions?
I want to do a quick thing before this.
Yep.
So just like now, don't quote me on that segment, we're going to do another name the segment. So we want to create a cozy environment within Better By Next Week with all our segments. And we find that listener questions is maybe just a bit clunky. So
I don't know if it's clunky.
I think it's a bit clunky. It's just you go, let's get into our listener questions. So I want people, just like we do, we're going to do a post on what we should name the segment, but name the segment in the comments. We'll do many advertising for a lot of the stuff, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to name the segment. But we'll send you out a free hat, whether that be a bucket hat or a cap.
100%. Ollie's going to give away all these free hats because he loves giving away free stuff.
It's great. It's great for us and great for people.
Yeah, 100%. So Ollie's going to put up that during the week.
Yep.
And hopefully we get a better
a cozy
segment name.
A cozy, non-clunky.
Cozy. You want a cozy,
yeah, look
non-clunky.
at this. It's nice and cozy in here, and
it's not.
It's our little
clunky.
place. Yeah, listener questions is too clunky.
Right.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
No.
Don't quote me on that. Rolls off the tongue. Well.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. Does
Better By
definitely.
Next Week. We got lucky with that name.
Why?
It rolls off the tongue really nicely, and no one else had it. So
I think we should talk about the origins of the Better By Next Week name. I think we'll do that on next week's episode. Put that in your notes.
The origins. Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember exact origins, but I know that I come up with it somehow. I think I do know the origins.
I don't know. I don't know how you.
All right, cool. So how about we get into our yet to be named listener questions segment? I'll go first. So is there any interest in Greenvale Backyard Ultra? There's a 5K first prize. So Greenvale, it was on the weekend. Is this the one in Tassie, I believe?
I'm not too sure. I'm
pretty sure it is. So it's a 5K first prize. I would love to go down there, and if it is, I'm almost 100% certain that it's the Backyard Ultra down in Tassie. I would love to go down there.
Well, it is because it says BYU.
Yeah. So look, I'm not really
motivated by the prize.
Yeah, I'm not really motivated by the money prize. I do find I like to go to events where there's a lot of people. I think that's great because I like to mingle. I like to have a chat with people. I also really like going to events where there's a lot of big names. I'm pretty sure Ryan Crawford went down there and he actually took out that event. Yeah. It would have been awesome if I was fit enough to back up to do that. Maybe 1 year, but it tends to be at the back end of the year when we've kind of done a lot of our racing for the season. So it does make it tricky.
I like to go to places like Tasmania. Sounds super intriguing in terms of the nature and the environment. So I would like to go down there, do the event, and then explore. I think those opportunities I would value. Yeah. So, if it was a Melbourne Backyard Ultra, I wouldn't be more inclined to do that because I've been to the city. I'd like to go to somewhere where it's all new.
Yeah, 100%. I always like trying all new
So, in that aspect, it does motivate us. But for me, I'm not doing the Backyard Ultras.
Yeah, Ollie's backing away from the Backyard Ultras for a little bit.
Backing away from the Backyard Ultras?
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, no, we can't name that as a segment. But, All right. So do you want to get the next one?
Yeah, we'll get the next one. How often do you guys have rest days? How often do you have rest days?
Well, I've had a few rest days in recent days because
I would hope so. You've just come off an event.
I've had a big year. I thought I'm not very good at having rest days, so I need to plan my rest days and I need to plan how I'm going to navigate it. So I've pretty much said to myself for the next probably 7 or 8 days till Christmas and around that time, I'm going to just run to feel. Whenever I feel like I'll go for a run, and majority of them will be rest days. But I have also been building a gym for you guys for Christmas. So
lucky us.
Yeah, lucky you and your sister. But I've been out there building all that. So I kind of stay fit doing that.
You do tend to take a relaxed approach coming into the holiday season.
Yeah.
I
think it's important. For me, it's a mental break.
Yeah. It's the year's over. You've done the hard work, and then you get back into the season next year.
Yeah. Early on in the year, I'll start with the Harry's Challenge, and then I'll see how I go with that. But yeah, I think you need that. I think after a big long year of running, you need to give yourself a few more rest days than normal. But in training itself, I often find that I won't have too many rest days. I will. Especially when I'm trying to get the kilometers up, I try to make sure that my rest days are more, I'll run in the morning and then I won't run again to maybe the following day's afternoon or something like that. So I give my body enough rest. But it's also very important just to listen to your body. What about yourself?
Yeah, I agree with that. With me, I don't really take too many rest days. I still want to emphasize how important they are, but I like to cross train on my rest days. I like to hop on the bike. I like to do a little bit of walking. It's not a dedicated rest day, but obviously after events, take a break. You don't want to get back straight into training, otherwise you would do some damage. But for me, it's a lot of cross training.
Yeah, and I think that's good. Even if you do a bit of swimming or just spinning the legs over on a bike, super easy. Just get the blood flowing again. I think if you're young, your recovery is super quick. So you probably don't need as much of a rest from from muscular stuff because that repairs really quickly. But your bones and things like that, they do. Like I've been pounding the pavement for 15 years and my bones and ligaments, everything's so hardened that I could probably not take rest days for that. But my muscles don't recover as fast. Whereas you, being so much younger, is probably flipped
We
around.
have done an episode on this called Beers and Nachos, our recovery episode. And we talk a lot about active recovery in that and what that does for your obviously recovery. So go have a listen to that if you want a little bit more of an detail.
But definitely rest days. If you feel like you need a rest day, then you need a rest day.
Yeah.
So
don't overthink it.
So that's the number one rule of thumb. Tim or Ollie taking on MVP in Feb. We
are not.
We are not going to go and do MVP. I have a couple other races coming up. I've got Sydney Backyard Ultra coming up in April, so I'll be training for that. And Ollie has a couple other little events that he wants to do ahead of a 100K event that he's got mid-year. So we won't be taking on the event, but we will be at the event. We are going to try and set up a mobile podcast there with
live.
I don't know whether they're going to do. Oh, I don't think we're going to do it live. I don't know. We'll give it a go. We're not super tech savvy, but I also, because it's such a long event as well, I think doing a live podcast for an hour, you're going to miss so much. So I think it's probably better to, interview people and have a heap of people on and actually have a podcast to do that. So me and you will sit there and we just bring in 20 people at 5 minutes each. Yeah. The winners, the losers, the people that are pushed, all that. So we're going to try and set something up like that. So yes, we will definitely be at
because
MVP.
we love that time of year. We love heading down to MVP.
Yeah, we love supporting Trails Plus as well.
Yeah, it's great.
So at a bare minimum, we're definitely going to be there, even if we're roaming around with a mic and a fancy camera to do some cool, content and stuff like that we can share with our listeners.
We're looking into getting some fancy.
Ollie's been wanting to get fancier cameras. So, but hopefully we'll have something cool for MVP. So we will be there, but we will not be racing.
Yep. This one's for me, but I think Dad can also answer this as well.
Yep.
Question for Ollie: what is your beep test score at school? Unfortunately, this year I had a little bit of an injury at the time. We were doing beep tests.
Yep.
So I can't even remember the last beep test
Yep.
score I got. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to set up some cones out the front of our house, and we're going to do a beep test there, film it in time lapse, and post it up.
Yep.
And see what we can get.
Maybe we should do that before next week's episode. So that we actually really like that question because it's now kind of prompted us to do a beep test, and we'll do it. How far is it? We could do it on the court out there. We should.
No, I don't want to do it on that.
All right. Well, we'll do it somewhere where we can, wherever you want to do it. But we will do it. I can't promise it's going to be before next week, but we'll try and we'll even post it up. I reckon that'll be a really cool challenge. So thank you so much for that question because now it's inspired us to actually see what our beep test score is.
Yep.
I don't think mine's going to be very good because I'm not in very fast form, but we'll see.
You don't have to be super duper fast.
Oh, don't you? So
it's actually called a 20-meter shuttle run test.
Oh, okay.
I believe, or something else. Actually, in BCE in Victoria, you are not allowed to call it the beep test in exams and SACs.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not the right name.
Oh, okay.
But we all know what the beep test is. So.
Yes. Thanks for your scientific
no, it's not even scientific. It's just a fun fact. It's a fun fact.
Okay, so the last one we have for the last listener question, which is the last time it will be called listener questions, unless we don't decide before next week.
Yeah.
Ollie, how does it feel to be the alpha of the house now? I think that's in reference to Ollie winning and being the big dog. So yes, he's the alpha of the ultra running space in the house.
Maybe not so much getting firewood, but
yeah, maybe not getting firewood, paying the bills, and doing all those other things. So I think I still hold that crown, which is not a great one to hold. But no, but how does it feel being one of the best runner in the house now? Because we did the poll, didn't we? And how'd that come back?
Yeah, it was some numbers of
like 70-30 or something like that.
Yeah, 70-30. It was
pretty
significant.
That I had officially passed the fire torch to you, and you went, oh, that burns a bit, before you realised it was a baton.
I was talking to Mum about how I look at people who win Western States or get course records and how epic that must feel. And I know we're talking about Western States, and I'm talking about Last Legend, this local event. But I think getting a course record and winning it actually doesn't feel like anything. I'm going to be honest.
What do you mean?
I just feel like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's but maybe you're looking at it. Remember what I said? What was your challenge for this?
Soaking it up this week. And I have definitely soaked it up this week. Yeah. I just don't think it's the be all and end all. I don't like to make like a huge deal out of things.
Yeah.
I'm just, that was really cool, and I'm glad I could push myself to that limit. Like I look back and I feel sick looking at videos of me pushing, and I'm glad I did that. But thinking of the idea of course record and winning, it actually doesn't seem as much when you have it.
Yep.
I think, at least.
I don't know. Well, but it sets the bar for everyone else to come along.
Well, and that's a cool thing as well. That's a cool thing to see in years to come, whether or not people are going to exceed that.
Like, I think that's going to be really tricky to beat.
Oh, especially in backyard ultras, having the under 18 record. I'm always, and I want people to beat it. I want people to go back next year at Last Legend and beat it because I want to see if those limits can be pushed.
Yeah.
And at Last Legend, it'll be an interesting concept because then it goes one more lap at just under 4 minute pace, and then it's like under 3:30s. So
it's 3:36.
Yeah, but it's an extra 50 meters, so you got to run a little bit faster.
100%. All right, so that's it for our listener questions. So let's get into our don't quote me on that. Do you want to start us off?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
So don't quote me on this. No matter how the wind howls, the mountain cannot bow to it. So the wind represents failures, setbacks, everything. And the mountain knows its worth. It knows it's bigger than everything else, but it doesn't scream it to everyone. It doesn't feel the need to share to the whole world how great it is. It doesn't argue with anything. It just is. And within the mountain, the trees grow, but no one sees it. The waters flow, no one sees it. And that's what makes it so beautiful. The work is being done when no one is watching. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it. So that I think everyone needs to be a mountain because the work is seen or isn't seen, and yeah, it doesn't scream to the world that it's this great thing. It just is.
Yeah, it just does. You just do the work quietly,
Yeah.
and then you let your results speak for themselves, essentially.
Well, that's the thing. When someone does come along and comes to this mountain, the wind sees the mountain. They see these beautiful results of these beautiful rivers, these beautiful trees, the architecture of everything. It's
Yeah, they're in awe.
in awe.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, the mountain just lets its beauty speak for itself.
Well, my don't quote me on that is almost as profound as what yours was just then. Mine is if you focus on results, you'll never change. If you focus on change, you'll get results. And that's a deep one for me because I think that where your intent goes, that's what's going to happen. And when you're constantly focused on the result, then you're not planning for the things that need to happen. If you focus on changing, then the results will just inevitably happen. So that's a really cool quote, and I really, when that popped up during the week for me, I thought, yep, that's the one I want on the segment, because it goes to show that I look at you and I think that a lot of the time you're focusing on the actual change that you need to make instead of the actual result. And when you've done that, that's when your best performances have come.
Yeah, I've been listening to a book, Win the Inside Game, and Steve Magnus really talks about that a lot. Shifting your perspective on the process and the change that's happening there, and that is almost the result you should be looking for, not the result as in winning these races. That's where your happiness will come from, because that's where you look back and go, I'm so happy I did that.
Yeah, well, because when you're focusing on, and it doesn't even have to be in running, when you're focusing in life, even when you're focusing on, when I get to this place and I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be doing that, it's like, well, you're not there. Well, focus on what it takes to get there, and that's changing the way you are now. So how about we bring this one across the finish line? This has been going for a while. We did have a lot to cover.
It's one of our longer ones.
Yeah, well, we'll report out on our Better by Next Week challenges from last week as well as doing our ones for next week. Mine was to actually reach out to someone and tell them how grateful I was that they're in my life. Whether it be call them or anything like that. And I did that to a few people. I did that to you, and you laughed in my face.
I did not laugh in his face.
You laughed in my face because you were like all awkward and stuff. You're like, what are you doing?
I appreciated it.
Yeah, so I was super grateful. I'm grateful that you are in my life as much of a pain in the ass as you can be sometimes.
Flooding
not just flooding the house, but you know. But I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm grateful for a lot of people in my life, and I got to do it with someone else as well, and it came really naturally as well when I was speaking about how grateful.
What were there different reactions?
No, it actually, like you said, it actually kind of brought us closer together, and the other person reciprocated the gratitude as well.
Yeah,
it was really, really nice.
Was it out of nowhere you would go to them, or?
It was in a moment where I don't want to explain it. I don't want to say when the moment happened or anything like that. But it was a nice moment.
Yeah, okay.
I
think that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah. So Dad challenged me to soak everything in, given my performance last week, and I took a lot more rest days this week. I didn't want to run. I wanted to think solely about and be proud of what I did last week. And obviously with any victory you're going to be proud of, but I really focused in on that hurt that I went through. And I remember looking back at videos. Each day I looked at least one video of me struggling, and I'm just so proud of that version of myself, because none of this would be happening if I didn't have to go through that. And I just know deep down that I really didn't want to go out on that last loop. And I did. I did. And I don't know. There's no words to be,
Yeah, so
there's no words.
Soaking it isn't, I didn't want you to soak it in by thinking about things. I wanted you to soak it in just to kind of maybe take a breath and just let it all essentially.
Well, that's what I did with the rest days.
Yeah, but not even the rest days. I wanted you to soak in the feeling, because you'd beaten yourself up over GV, and I wanted you to take that opportunity to say to yourself, you know what, that was something that I wasn't as happy as what, with the result that like I wanted to be, but then you went on and won it last Legend. There was nothing else. That's the thing. There was nothing else that you could have done at last Legend.
That was a cool thing, reflecting as well.
There was nothing else that you could have done, and there was no what ifs. There was none of that. So you need to soak that in, because you're not always going to have wins. So when they do happen, they're the, you made all those changes that had to happen for you to get that result. So soak it in. Yeah, hey, look, I had a win.
It was definitely a different experience compared to GV. I was a lot happier.
Yeah, that's right. So that's
and I think I need to learn to be happier as well, even after races where I might not exceed my expectations.
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes you just got to accept that they're the cards that you've been dealt, and you just say to yourself, you know what, that's where I'm at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If any of our listeners have any report outs on any of our challenges from previous weeks, from this week, please reach out to us, because we will be happy to share them on the show as well. So let's get into our Better by Next Week challenges for this week.
Here we go.
My Better by Next Week challenge for you and the listeners, some people will probably already do it, is to start the day with making your bed. Right? Alex Cleary, I seen it on one of his reels where he spoke about making the bed and having that first win. And I know Jordan Peterson often talks about it as well. So I started doing that a few weeks back, and you know what? It bookends your day at the start and at the end. You make your bed, you walk out of that room, it's all nice and tidy, and then when you go to jump back into bed, it's all nice and tidy again and stuff like that. So not to say that I'd never made my bed, but I sometimes just got out and doing it, whatever. But just make your bed and start with a win. So that's the first win of the day that you have. So I want you to do that.
It's something
not just all week, but forever would be nice.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely do that. And I think it'll motivate me to actually keep my room clean as well.
Yes.
Because I can't do anything else. I can't ride in my room if it's dirty.
Yeah.
You're right, because you do get a better sleep when your room is clean.
Yeah, well, cluttered space, cluttered mind.
Yeah, well, coming from that comment of sleep, my Better by Next Week challenge for you this week is to have one night where you just have a bath before bed. I find that you get the best sleep after having a bath and going into a made bed, obviously, like what you do. So if you do both of these challenges and see the difference to not having a bath, because I find that you're just so relaxed and you're not as tight. I don't know, there's this hidden feeling that you have to experience. It can't be told. There's this feeling of warmth coming into your bed nicely tucked in. Tuck yourself in after having a nice warm bath.
Yeah, it does. I think what it does as well is it relaxes all your muscles. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a big, big plus for anyone that's, might be tired or might be, getting up all creaky in the mornings, because essentially what you're trying to do is relax your body as much as you can during sleep, because that's the biggest part of the recovery process.
Even if you want to add something onto this challenge, even doing a 5-minute stretch after the bath, loosening those hips up especially, that's magic. You'll feel 10 times better as well.
Well, and that's the best time to have a stretch is when you're all warmed up and your muscles are all loose.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring this one to a close, because it's been a big...
You were about to say bring it across the finish line.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I said let's bring this podcast to a close, because we would like to actually thank everyone for listening, everyone who has reached out to us over the last week or two with the all-new review, all the products, all the brands that sent all the stuff, all the listeners. It's been an awesome few weeks.
And this is not the last of it. We will try in the very near future to get back on the all-new review.
Yeah, we'll get some more brands, more products. So even shoot us some messages on what products you guys would like us to try and get on the show. And we'll try and get reach out to those brands, because the more people that say that want us to review it, the more likely brands are to give it to us, and then we can get stuff for you guys as well. So we'll wrap this one up, and next week is the year in review show, where that one's also going to be a pretty big one, where we give away all the prizes.
Also, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Have an awesome time with your families. Have an awesome break. Don't feel bad for eating too much or not running, because it's this time of the year where we should be spending time with our families and enjoying that time.
Jolly Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, Merry Christmas. And, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Untested.